You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This is episode number 112, where we're discussing the Avengers Infinity War trailer number 2. I'm your host, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Room. It's a pleasure to have you here to talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. It's been a relatively busy week in Marvel and DC. Star Wars seemingly is taking a break until early May-ish time, maybe? We'll see. I don't know. But it's been a lot of fun collecting, doing the comic book thing, and getting this amazing, this incredible trailer from Marvel Studios for Avengers Infinity War. This has got me so hyped for this film. I've totally forgotten about Solo and what's to come and what came already in Black Panther. But how you guys feeling? Like, how's your weekend nerd been?
Oh, hyped, man. This is crazy. It's such a kickoff with this trailer being dropped on Friday. And instantly, like I mentioned to you guys before, I put in Winter Soldier immediately after. I was like, I need an MCU fix right now. And I've done Homecoming like 1,000 times. I need a break from that. So put in Winter Soldier. That was awesome, man. And then I watched that trailer like over and over again, which was great. Then I got the Blu-ray steelbook from you for Justice League. So it's just been like a crazy week of like superhero stuff. I picked up Captain Rex, the Black Series, which is cool.
Nice.
Cool.
It's a pretty sweet figure. And then I found another Iron Man Marvel Legends. So I got that guy all posted up. And yeah, man, it's been a great week for a nerd. And also read a couple more comic books. I caught up a little bit more on Avengers. And yeah, man, all around, it's been good. But you know what? I got to go back a little bit. I used to really like Justice League. Like, I love the movie, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't do it any favors on, like, a smaller screen.
Yeah.
The visuals, to me, looked a little weird. Like, some of the green screen issues with Momoa, you know, Aquaman diving into the water. Like, there's some scenes where I was like, whoa, this doesn't really look that good. The mustache stuff still doesn't bother me much. I still haven't really caught on to that. I know a lot of people did. My wife caught on to it right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but yeah, just the visuals kind of took away a little bit from the movie. This is my third time watching it now. But another cool thing about the movie, though, was Wonder Woman. She's like even more enhanced. Watching it again, I was like, Wonder Woman is like, I think, the best part of the whole film. I really like what Gal Gadot does in that film. So it's kind of a bittersweet thing. There was some bad, so my score went down a little bit in this film.
Yeah.
But man, Wonder Woman is great, and I can't wait to see more of this superhero.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen Justice League now a couple times. And the mustache part again doesn't really bother me. Like whatever. It kind of sucks that happened. But they just got to release the Snyder Cut.
And give us more Superman. Superman's really good in that movie too, and I want more of him in that film.
Right? Is there a Snyder Cut? Like, does that exist?
There's got to be.
Is that a myth?
That's got to be. I mean, because he shot so much of that film. I mean, remember back in the day, Superman 2 with Richard Donner? He got fired, and then they brought in Richard Lester, I believe. And then he finished the movie, and then like 30 years later, they released Superman 2, the Richard Donner version. I hope I don't have to wait like 30 years for the Snyder Cut, because give me the Snyder Cut.
I don't think we're ever going to get it.
I think it's a fan myth, to be dead honest with you. I don't think it actually exists. I agree with you that there's probably some version of Snyder's film that exists, maybe not compiled together, but the idea and the framework of it is probably there. But I don't know if there's a whole movie. It'd be more interesting just to read his story. Right. Where he would have taken things, how he would have done things differently. So just even having, 10 years down the road, how Zack Snyder would have made this film, what would have changed, how would the character developments have been altered. I think that would be more interesting, because I honestly don't think it exists.
Well, maybe I'm confused. Wasn't there a screening for the executives and they saw the film and they weren't that pleased with it too? Was that Joss Whedon's or was that the Snyder one? Like,
I think that was the Snyder.
So that might have been the Snyder one.
Yeah, like if you watch the trailers, maybe the CGI isn't finished on some scenes, but there's so much stuff that was cut from that movie. Like all the Cyborg stuff, Ray Fisher playing football, that's gone. You had Flash saving Iris West, that's gone. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's so many scenes that if you just watch the opening trailers, like Cyborg when he has that Iron Man like helmet and he's flying around.
The toy. There's even a toy. You have it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. Where's that?
Right.
So, I mean, there are scenes, maybe the CGI wasn't 100% finished, but you could argue maybe the CGI wasn't 100% finished in the final product.
Maybe. No, you know what? I'm going to sit down and rewatch this for sure. Maybe when it comes to Netflix, or maybe I'll borrow a DVD, let it sit here for 10 weeks, and then finally get around to watching it. Haven't quite got to Dunkirk yet. That is a weekly Dunkirk update.
Yeah.
But I do want to rewatch this and try to take in some of the elements that maybe I didn't quite get in the film. Having you guys explain a few more things usually helps with the DC Extended Universe. And that's somewhat what we try to provide on the podcast with the MCU retrospective episodes, is trying to recontextualize some of the stuff that we see, kind of looking at this from a different perspective or a comic book perspective. So I want some of that. And when we get into talking a little bit about this New Gods thing that was announced, I'm going to need a bit more of that, and how maybe Justice League and Batman vs. Superman may seed some of those ideas, because I'm hoping that with the DC Extended Universe, they do the same thing that Marvel's done in the past, and that's like retroactively reached into the past films and made them better by providing some sort of connective tissue in films. We call it the Winter Soldier effect here in the Nerd Room, and we just got finished reviewing the Winter Soldier, so that episode is going to drop in the next couple of weeks, our MCU retrospective episode for that. But we referred to that film making the first Avenger a lot better by recontextualizing and bringing things, modernizing things, and also tying up some of the details, and also including things in that film that were a little looser in the first Avenger, but making them and projecting them into the future, into this film, made that film retroactively a lot better. And I love both of those films, especially Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's at the top of the game. So I'm hoping that going forward, things like Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2, The New Gods, that they're able to make the other films better by taking the story or the plot elements that were a little looser in there and tying some of them up. Because I think you can accomplish that in filmmaking, especially with these big cinematic universes.
You just got to start now.
Yes.
So you lose an audience.
Start now. Soon. So any steelbooks this week, Sunjay?
I did get one. I got Jumanji.
Nice.
Welcome to the Jungle. Such a great movie.
I've yet to see it.
You haven't seen it yet.
No.
Okay.
That's
you're
why
in
I
for a
borrowed
treat.
the digital code from you.
Wink, wink. They can't see you winking, Tim. Yeah, how about you, Troy? Have you seen Jumanji?
I haven't seen Jumanji. I'm still a fan of the original, but I've yet to see the Kevin Hart and The Rock one.
Like, this one is really good. I still have a special place in my heart for the original.
Yeah.
Robin Williams. That was
R.I.P.
when he was...
Yeah.
Oh, that was when he was on top of his game.
Yeah.
And all his movies are coming out, and they're all so good. This one is a little bit different, but it's super cool. A lot of fun, good action, and we got The Rock, Black Adam in there, and we got Karen Gillian, who is... Nebula. Maybe, I mean, who would you guys cast then for Jack Black and Kevin Hart if you had to cast them in superhero roles?
I feel like Kevin Hart's got to be some sort of mutant. I don't know. I'm just picturing some sort of very loud... he doesn't really fit into the universe that I'm thinking of, but I don't know, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I was thinking maybe like Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. But he's a little bit...
Jon Stewart as Green Lantern?
Yeah.
He's only like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, but so is Tom Cruise. So.
I would have had him as a Shazam beforehand.
Oh.
Yeah, I would have had him as a Shazam, but I don't know if he has the acting chops to carry a whole film. But if it's just going off of pure like fan, casting, yeah, Shazam.
You'd cast Kevin Hart as Shazam.
No. No. I thought I said John Cena at one point. No,
Jon Stewart.
Oh, Jon Stewart. Sorry, what am I thinking?
I was a little confused there.
I was
okay.
like,
Never mind.
Okay, like I guess it could work. It might be a little weird.
My bad. Yeah, no. Okay, it's Jon Stewart. I'd have him as Kevin Hart as Toad in X-Men.
Oh, that's
That's kind of what I'm
have
thinking.
him as Toad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw him as that.
Just in the background.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little quips.
Yeah.
Yelling and screaming.
Exactly.
Do his
Nothing more
thing.
than that.
What about Jack Black?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oof.
He was rumored at one point to be Hal Jordan. So.
The Penguin. Throw him as
Oh,
a
that's
villain?
actually a really good one.
maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe do the Penguin.
Jarvis, like the human
Oh,
version.
the real
Oh,
Jarvis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like
He's just
it.
in a recent comic book.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
Speaking
Nice.
of comic books, I've had a hell of a week reading comic books.
Nice.
I got into Avengers No Surrender, which, okay, spoilers for this.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Anyone
All right.
reading Avengers No Surrender, I finally got around to reading issue number 2, which Troy kind of inquired about last week, I believe. And it's really interesting. There's this character called the Voyager. new introduction, I believe.
Yeah.
But they've retconned her into like every significant Avengers moment that she was present at the beginning, when the Avengers form, when most of them left, and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye Joe and Captain America, she was there.
Yeah.
In
Founding member
yeah. In issue number 58, when we have even an android can cry, like all of that. They've got the art it's kind of cool. They've kind of integrated her into it all.
Yeah.
But everyone in the Avengers, or the existing Avengers at this point, are like, yeah, I remember you there. You're
a legend.
I'm
basically.
really confused if she's mind warped these characters, or if they're actively trying to retcon the original Avengers runs, like some of those significant issues, issue number 1, issue number 58.
Yeah.
Like those are, to me, untouchable. You don't retcon anything into them. That's why I'm thinking it's some sort of story. But you're further on, and I'm not sure if I don't want to hear if it gets resolved,
I won't go into it too much, but I'm on board with you. Like, it's basically like they're doing this whole like century thing, all over again. But at least there's a lot more in play with that. This just seems like we're all meant to know who she is, and we're all meant to just believe it. It's really kind of weird how they're doing it. It's kind of lazy if that's the route they're going. But if they're going more of the long game, and she's actually like pulling this whole scam herself,
I think it's a long game.
Then I'm hoping so. So I'm kind of waiting, to judge it fully until I've actually read the whole arc, because I think this No Surrender arc is pretty big. Like
15 or 16 issues, I think.
Holy
and
smokes.
I'm only on. I think they only released up to 10 or 11,
right,
maybe.
It's a weekly.
Yeah.
Weekly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's great though all around. I'm still enjoying this book a lot. But my only drawback right now, I'd have to say, is this retcon origin story.
Yeah.
Because so.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm going to read. I think I've got up to issue 5 at this point. I want to continue with it. I'm really curious about it.
The art's great.
Yeah, the art is fantastic. I'm enjoying it from that perspective. I like the almost B squad of Avengers.
Yeah, and each issue it's somebody else narrating the story, which I really like.
Yeah, because issue number 2 is Falcon. Yeah,
yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So looking forward to getting more into that. I've gotten into this Infinity Countdown as well. So this is another event that's going on in the background, a bit more cosmic scale,
right,
regarding revolving a bit more around the Infinity Stones, and I'm loving it. It feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy centric sort of event.
And they're in this book?
They're in this book. You got all of them. Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel, Wolverine's in here a little bit. So you've got a little bit of everything, and it's a perfect mix of comic book and what we're going to be seeing on the screen. It's purely a marketing thing to get people into comics, relating it directly to Avengers Infinity War. But I love it. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's got this kind of Annihilation, Guardians of the Galaxy, early 2008 cosmic vibe to it. And that's one of the reasons I'm really, really loving this.
Nice.
But I got to shout it here. Have you read Darth Vader at number 13?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. Not there yet.
I have.
Man.
I have. You guys haven't?
I definitely have. But I'm not going to spoil a thing.
Yeah.
But issue 12 was a weird break in the run. This picks up a new arc.
Was 12 the one when he constructs the lightsaber?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm one issue down. Okay.
Yeah. This one is... It's unbelievable. The cameos, the characters we have in here.
Yeah.
I want to say one word, but I'm not going to. But it's awesome.
Nice.
It's fantastic. Nice. It picks back up right where Charles Soule left off with some of the other arcs, not particularly in the story, but the way he's constructing it, how well done the story is, and how important it is for continuity and canon. Man, like, just wait. And there's a tease at the end.
Yeah.
So much speculation. So much.
It still remains the best comic in Star Wars right now.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Because I'm even reading the Thrawn stuff. Issue number 2 dropped. I really like it. Mm-hmm. I'm still not where I am in the book. I'm about 8 hours into the book.
Yeah.
And issue 2 doesn't quite get there.
Yeah.
So again, the art in here is great. It's bringing a lot of context to the story. I love seeing the visualizations. So continue with that for sure as well. So comic books.
One thing I got to ask you actually about Thrawn. I don't know if this is spoiler territory at all. Maybe it is, back to issue 1, and I don't know whether it takes place in the novel. They mention a reference that he met Anakin at some point. I never saw this in the Clone Wars or anything. Do you know if we've seen this before?
No.
Or is this just in this story?
It's in the novel as well.
It's in the novel.
Because he seems to know who Anakin is. Like, he says he interacted with him, and the Emperor, when he's talking directly to Thrawn, when he gets brought before him, he makes reference to the fact that Anakin told him about this Chiss, this soldier.
Yeah.
And I've never watched the Clone Wars or anything
never
like
in
that.
the Clone Wars.
So they're retconning something, and I hope they elaborate on it a bit more because we have this next book, this Alliance's book coming up, which is Vader and Thrawn together.
Yes.
Presumably sometime in this era.
That's going to be cool.
So we may get some elaboration on that a little bit as well.
See, and just because of that, I'll have to pick up that book now.
Yeah.
Like the part 2.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. It'll be interesting to see if he, dissects Vader and figures out who he is, much like, I think it's the Tarkin book. Tarkin kind of puts 2 and 2 together and realizes who
I
Vader
think he
is.
will. I think there's going to be some. I don't know if it happens at the end of this book or not, but I'm guessing at some point Thrawn figures out who Vader is.
Yeah.
Because you look at his deduction skills, what he does in the comics, what he does in Rebels, and who he is as a character from before that. If he can't put it together, then they're writing the character wrong.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Sure. For sure.
And then collecting. This Infinity War trailer popped me off. I had to go out and get literally Funko Pops. I went and got Captain America. I'm having a hard time finding the Thanos. Those are the only 2 I'm buying for this run. Yeah. And then I found the Iron Spider.
Nice.
Thank God for the Avengers Infinity War, because I was afraid I was never going to see it. I walked into the Toys R Us where I grabbed the Cap and Proxima Midnight. Gone. Ghost Town for Avengers Infinity War Legends. I'm thinking to myself, oh my, I've missed the boat here. How did I not just pick them all up?
Because it was already there for you, right?
It was all there.
Yeah.
But no, EB Games came through, got the Iron Spider. The Iron Man, I've seen a couple of the places, stacked a little deep, 3-4 of them. So they are going to linger as we kind of predicted, based on the fact that they're 2 per pack. You don't get a Build-A-Figure piece in them. So you'll be able to get those. The Iron Man I wouldn't worry too much about. And then Troy hooked me up this week also. I've got a big collecting list with the Emperor's Royal Guard from the Black Series. That was a wave that we really didn't see, the Lando, Qui-Gon, and Royal Guard wave. We didn't see that too densely populated in toy stores here in Canada, but you're able to find kind of a random wave.
Completely random. When I found Rex, it was weird. And there's a whole bunch of Phasmas from Force Awakens.
Nice.
Is a weird one. Yeah,
it's a very weird. It seems like they're just dumping stuff out. And then my wife was down in Las Vegas, slipped over at Target and grabbed me the Target exclusive Executioner Stormtrooper, the Black Series. So really, really excited about what I got this week. I got a whole pile of stuff. And again, here's the last thing, I promise. My wife ordered me the Avengers Infinity War teaser poster, which we've got on the wall here in the Nerd Room. I will snap a pic and throw it up on Twitter. Super excited that finishes up my Avengers teaser posters with the A's. So I've got all 3 of them. Really excited. I got one signed by Stan Lee, the very first one, the Assemble 2012. Nice. So my weekend nerd has been absolutely massive. And then going forward, I'm going to Disney World in a couple short days. When you hear this episode, I'll be doing the last of packing because we take off on Friday. So I cannot wait. It's going to be another big weekend nerd. Can't wait.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about this Infinity War. We got our tickets, but we're going to save a little bit of that discussion until a little later on in the episode. But before we kick into the news here, we've got one shout out we want to give to our dude Matthew Salvador.
That's right.
He's subscribed to everything in the last week or so. He's been interacting a ton with us on Twitter and YouTube, and we just want to give him a shout out, man. Follow this guy, Salvador Chief, on Twitter, and he's also got a YouTube page, Matthew Salvador. He does Lego stop motion. He just dropped a video, a Lord of the Rings video. It's awesome stuff. Like, I'm loving what he's doing over there.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And I asked him, like, do you do the sound effects? And he's like, yeah, I do everything. And I mean, it has scenes where they're going through water, which is super cool. And he also did a Nightfall video.
Yeah, in the Batcave?
Yeah, in the Batcave, yeah, which was really cool, which had Deathstroke and Batman in it. So check him out. He's got something for everyone. He's got Star Wars, he's got DC, he's got Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Matthew Salvador, man. He's killing it over there. This guy's like Michael Bay when it comes to the stop motion. The action, like seriously, he's killing it. I remember when I watched the one video when he had the Jedi battle going on, and there's also the Roger droids doing the whole laser battles, and like the sound effects, boom, 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 going on. It was really cool, man. Like, that's awesome stuff.
It takes some patience.
And I was just gonna say, it takes a lot of time with that stop motion, so that's unreal. The Lord of the Rings one is the most recent one I checked out. I was loving that, and man, Salvador, keep up the good work, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great stuff.
Lego movies, if you're listening, hire this guy.
Yeah,
man.
Definite shout out.
He's bringing it.
Yeah, he is a Knight of the Commonwealth, so he is one of us.
Nice.
One of us. Exactly. One of us.
Yeah, but we appreciate the interaction and look forward to more of his work over on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
All right, guys, we got our weekly question from Mr. Grabs Granite. Cue theme song.
Grabs granite. Grabs granite. Grabs who? Grabs granite. It's Grabs Credit Time with your host, Tim the Toolman and Troy the Boy. Now let's give a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Grabs Granny.
Shout out to Grabs.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do a song now.
No.
I thought this is how this works. We
I
all
like
do
Grabs
a
too
song.
much to do that.
And the end of this question is very fitting for what just happened here. He writes, the subject of this is premature certainty. Hello, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay. I can't believe you avoided not doing a joke there.
What do you mean?
Right.
I was just waiting for it.
What are you talking about? This is a very serious podcast, and I would not make a joke about
I had my
something
finger
like
on the edit button. We've all questioned the way we view something sometime in our lives. For me, the production of Wicked is the perfect example. I left that musical questioning everything I thought I knew about Wizard of Oz. It was a game changer. It drives home the point of from a certain point of view. My question for you this week is, has there been any comics that have provided similar experiences for you? Have you started a story arc thinking you knew what was going on just to be blindsided later by that one piece of new information? What movies, TV, shows, plays, or novels have done this for you? In conclusion, can you name a comic character that you've started out disliking to eventually root for them wholeheartedly? Your friend, even through the trials of hearing Sunjay sing my theme, Grabs.
Grabs, I'm waiting for you to do a theme song for me now. You know,
Yeah.
it's only fair.
First of all, let's kick this off. Thank you very, very much, Grabs, for another awesome question. As we've said in the past, we always look forward to your questions, your weekly questions, to kind of make us think a little bit more about different things. So, Sunjay, I'm going to throw this one to you first.
Well, I'm going to go with the obvious one here. We all watched Star Wars. Mm-hmm. We all knew about this certain character named Darth Vader.
Yes.
But then the prequels came out and completely changed our perception of how we viewed the character. So, you know, that's one for me that he was like this like super evil dude, but you didn't really know too much about him. And then the prequels kind of humanized Anakin, Darth.
Yeah.
The other one is a more recent example, and it's the movie Coco. So you had the character of Hector, which was like a down on his luck skeleton.
Spoilers for Coco here.
Exactly. Spoilers for Coco. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it right now. You'll do yourself a disservice by not watching it. So you got a down on luck skeleton, and you're like, oh man, this guy's kind of like a bum. He's hanging around Miguel, the little kid. And then you're like, you kind of like feel bad for him, but you don't really like cheer for him either. You're just like, okay, this guy's kind of annoying. And then you find out that he is Miguel's father. And you're
Great grandfather.
Great, yeah. Great grandfather. That's right, yeah. And it kind of like changes your perception of the character just like that. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. So those are the two. Should I do the comic book one as well? While I have the floor, a certain character by the name of Green Lantern.
All right.
I had this preconceived notion that he was lame because like everyone's like, oh, he can get defeated by the color yellow. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, but whatever.
All-Star Batman or All-Star Robin. Check that scene out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check that out. And, you know, the movie came out with Ryan Reynolds, and it wasn't, like, the greatest movie. I gotta rewatch it, but at the time, I didn't really love it. So I had this, like, preconceived notion that he was pretty lame. And then I read Green Lantern Secret Origin, and I was like, whoa, this character's super cool. You know, it's like a space opera. He's going in and, like, battling. There's different planets. That completely changed my perception of the character just because I finally gave him a chance. So that's Grabs. That's my answer for the week.
Nice. I'm digging that, man.
Yeah.
Digging that. Well, Grabs, first of all, man, I gotta say, Wicked would probably be my all-time. I won't use it because that's yours, but I love that show. I've seen that show 3 times. I got the soundtrack. I'm a big fan of the Broadway show Wicked.
Can you sing something for us?
No, I won't do that to you guys.
Why not?
I won't do that to you guys. No, I can't sing it. But the soundtrack's incredible. I love that show. So shout out to Grabs for digging Wicked. But I'm gonna go. This is a tough one because Grabs always challenges us here. And I'm going to have to go Superior Spider-Man, but not for Spider-Man, for Octopus, Doc Ock. He's always been the bad guy. Some will say he's Spider-Man's best bad guy next to Green Goblin. But this story, we have Doc Ock switching bodies with Peter Parker. Doc Ock is now dying. Peter Parker's healthy, obviously. He doesn't know he's Peter Parker, but he knows he's Spider-Man, so he changes bodies with Spider-Man and does the whole switcheroo. As he does that, Peter Parker basically has a moment where he realizes, okay, I'm gonna lose. Like, this is it for me. So he kind of passes on to Doc Ock, like, look, like, you're gonna be Spider-Man from now on, but you got to keep up this legacy. You gotta do what you gotta do. Don't do the wrong thing here. So as this is happening, as they're changing bodies here, Doc Ock realizes what Spider-Man's been through his whole career and how this guy's been holding back the whole time. He could have defeated enemies easily, but Doc Ock kind of like cherishes what Peter Parker's done, but in doing so, he's like, I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to be better than Amazing Spider-Man. I'm going to be the superior Spider-Man. And you get this whole issues 1 to 33 run of Doc Ock always trying to outdo Spider-Man. He goes back to school. He becomes a doctor. He starts his own company. He becomes friends with Mayor J. Jonah at this point. But at the same time, as he's doing all this good stuff, he's also doing a lot of bad things. He leaves the Avengers. He's killing, villains now too. And he's also encouraged the Green Goblin to kind of come up at the same time. So it's a bit of good, bit of bad going on with this arc, but it's fantastic. You really get a good sense of what Doc Ock is really all about. So I can't recommend that comic book as a whole enough. You really get a good perspective of that character, that villain. Somebody that I never really liked and then started rooting for, I'm going to have to give it up to Flash. I've never really been a big Flash guy. I kind of thought, like, okay, running super fast is cool, but that's it. Like, you got the Justice League and you got somebody that can run really fast. And it wasn't really till the CW did the Flash. Coming off of the heels of Arrow, I was like, how are you going to do a Flash show? And they did the whole Speed Force. They did the whole Reverse Flash. And I love what they did with all that stuff going on there. It's been a great run. And I've actually liked Flash a lot more since I picked up the Rebirth line for a little bit. And I really dig the characters. So I'd buy a beer for this guy. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Going back to last week's questions.
Which Flash do you prefer, Ezra or C-Dub?
Oh, Barry Allen, Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
All day. I wasn't a fan of Ezra Miller's Flash
unfortunately,
at all.
me too. I think he was like my least favorite Justice League member.
Yeah.
But some people really dug him.
Some people love him. Some people think he's like the biggest hit coming out in the film. So yeah.
As you guys are talking through this, one thing came to mind is that what we do here, podcasting, being heavily involved in the communities of Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, is that maybe we don't afford ourselves as much of that ability to be blindsided by things because we're so ingrained and so involved in everything that goes on. Do you ever find yourself just wowed by anything recently as far as a film, or I'm racking my brain here for something that I was just like, wow, I did not see that coming. Like the first thing that comes to mind in a movie, and this kind of changed the perception of Luke Skywalker for me in The Last Jedi, was I did not see the Force projection thing, like, at all. I didn't catch that my first viewing. Like when he disappeared, I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. And so it doesn't really reframe anything for me, but I'm trying to think of a time when I was absolutely blindsided, and I can't really find something. But when I'm looking at recontextualizing or changing my perception of a character, I would say probably over the last 2 years, my perception of Darth Vader has dramatically changed. You talked about him and seeing his origin story through the prequels. Rogue One, just that one scene, and this Vader comic book have completely changed how I perceive and look at Darth Vader.
Nice.
And it's everything from the internal battle to how relentless he is to how sympathetic you can find Darth Vader. So you don't get any of that in the original trilogy. But what they've been able to do with Vader, and I haven't read Lords of the Sith yet, but I'm loving it. This is a character that I've always loved. One of my favorites from the original trilogy. But everything about Vader has been flipped on its head for me in the last year and a half or so, since Rogue One really came out. That scene blew me away. We never saw Vader like that.
No.
And we've never seen Vader like we've seen him in this comic book. You look back at the original Vader run in between A New Hope and Empire, the original Marvel, when they first came out of the gates with the new comics.
Oh, the 2015-14 one?
Yeah, you don't get much out of there for Vader. It's very what you'd expect.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. The struggle. It changes Vader. Every comic book, and when I talk about this, the TSW guys, Rob and Mark, we talk about how it reframes everything that you're watching. Even the Inquisitors. I did not like these characters at all in Rebels. Yeah. I thought they were brutal. They didn't make sense. It wasn't part of my Star Wars. 2 issues of Charles Soule's run in Darth Vader completely turned that on its head. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of them. I love how they've integrated them way back with the Emperor and Vader, and how Vader treats them, and how they've taken these characters from very Disney-esque Star Wars and ingrained them back into what I would consider my Star Wars. We've referred to that as my Star Wars, as some sort of perception of what we think as fans or individuals what Star Wars should look like, what stories they should tell.
Yeah.
They've been able to do a lot in just this comic book run. So that's probably going to be like my grabs is Wicked.
Nice.
It's what they've done with Vader recently.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. And when I'm looking at a character that, from the comics at least, that maybe I didn't like and then ended up rooting for, I'd have to say maybe Iron Man. Like, I've always liked the character. I never read a lot of Iron Man comic books, but then when I went back and started reading the run where he was fighting Malekith, I can't remember who was writing that at that time. This
Iron Man fighting the Malekith?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a whole 10 Rings thing and all this. And it was right before Superior Iron Man and all that. But I've kept up with Iron Man ever since then. Like, it was a book that I never wanted to read, but I found myself continuing to buy Iron Man books because the character of Tony Stark continued to intrigue me.
Yeah.
How they're adapting him and changing him. And to this day, I'm still reading Iron Man books. That's kind of the one anomaly for me in my comic book reading. I've always read Guardians, I've always read Cap, and I've always read Avengers. But that's the one that really sticks out to me as being in my long boxes. That's the runs that I'm like, this doesn't really, it fits, of course, into the Avengers theme, but it's a character that I never on purpose went out to read until it was that Malekith arc. I even like the Superior Iron Man stuff.
The Bendis
stuff.
Kind of
and
stuff.
I've gone back and reread some of that.
Yeah.
So that's how probably the character. It's kind of an unusual pick because it seems to fit within my catalog of comic book reading.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a character that I didn't want to read and always end up buying the comic book when it comes out.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of core. Is there anything as far as movies or TV or shows or anything like that have done this for you? Like the novels, I'm trying to think from the novel perspective. Lost Stars is another one for me.
Well, Lost Stars, yeah, that's a home run. I guess you could always go back to even I guess Dexter, because it really puts you in the mindset of a villain.
Yeah.
But you're rooting for this character every episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he's bad to the bone. He takes out the bad guys, but he's no different himself. So I guess I could always throw in Dexter.
I'd go Lord of the Rings, Golem and Smeagol. Is it? It's been a long time since I've seen these movies, so I'm sorry. But at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, when he's like this like terrifying figure, you're just like, oh man, this guy's like such a jerkhole. And then when you find out his backstory and how he was just a hobbit himself, and then like he just went
River person. Boys that green door will kill you. Ads will kill you.
So I didn't touch that one. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since I've seen these movies. So yeah, it humanized, maybe not humanized, but it definitely brought like a sympathy to the character. It made you say, oh, this guy isn't such a, he's just a sympathetic character. It's a tragedy as opposed to just a jerkhole.
Well, even Killing Joke. Joker, you can you have a little sympathy for the character too, right?
That's right.
Him going from a stand-up comedian and then he loses his pregnant wife and then he gets, dropped into Ace Chemicals and he does the whole Red Hood gang kind of like heist job that goes bad. So, I mean, I guess you kind of count that as an origin story. It's never really been confirmed or not, but yeah, I guess that book does it for me.
I think it was confirmed because like
Barbara Gordon,
was in a wheelchair for those years until New 52 like changed it. Yeah, so that's a good one.
Yeah, this is what Grabs does to us. It's got us constantly thinking in new ways. Every time I read these questions, I'm like, I have an idea, but I don't know if it fits right. And that's why I love getting these. It brings, like I always say every week, a new dynamic to the table. So, Grabs, thank you very much. Keep them coming. Hopefully we answered that with some sort of,
and Grabs is like the taskmaster. He's like he's like a chess champion. He's like pulling the strings with us. He's playing chess and we're out there playing checkers.
Yeah, man. and Grabs, you're listening out there. You gotta DM me. Let me know your top Broadway shows, man. This is cool. I didn't know this guy was all about Broadway shows. I'm really intrigued here. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for the question.
Wicked is dope.
Oh, I love it.
I
man.
love it too.
Yeah, I love it. Let the alphabet in a different way.
Did you go to the Spider-Man Broadway show?
I did. I saw that in New York.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw it in New York.
What did you think?
I had my Spider-Man glasses on the whole time. It's horrible. When I took those glasses off, anything Spider-Man I love, but it's not the best. It's not the best. They do some pretty cool things with the stage, how it like sets up where Spider-Man's like going up the building. Green Goblin though, and I think the Lizard, Carnage, they're all wacky. in that one. It's very more the Sam Raimi kind of look of the Spider-Man, but it's all over the place.
Cool.
U2 did the production. They did the music, which was
awesome.
pretty cool. There's some okay songs in there. The costumes are awesome. There's like 7 or 8 different Spider-Men, so you get this constant web swinging of other heroes, other actors playing as Spider-Man, so you get that illusion of his web swinging. It was cool.
Yeah, that's a rare moment for them to actually have seen that.
Yeah. And nobody got hurt, which was great, because when that show started off, a lot of people were getting injured.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's a web swing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time for us to jump into the news section. This week, we're going to kick it off with some Star Wars. Let's talk about The Last Jedi. We've mentioned this and talked about this a few times in the last couple of weeks, but we're finally going to get to watch it at home. It has been released digitally, so you can get it on iTunes or whatever, any provider you have there, Amazon, whatever. But the hard copy, the steelbook, the Blu-ray and all that is dropping next week. So very exciting. Sanjay's got, 4 copies on order?
Yeah, 4 copies on order. 2 for you, Goombas. And I got 1 for myself. And then 1 because, sometimes when they get shipped, they get dented. So you always got to have that insurance.
Yes. I can't believe you have 4 on your house. Well, thank you very much for grabbing those. But Den of Geeks posted recently the bonus features, as did a myriad of other websites, but I just want to kind of run through some of these, not in a ton of detail, but basically what we're going to get on the Blu-ray as far as extras. This is something we're always looking towards for Star Wars, because we always want just that little bit more knowledge on how they put things together, and then there's always the deleted scenes. How will they affect? Are they part of canon? Probably not, because they're not included, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun going through this. So what we got here on The Last Jedi for bonus features, we got 1, the director and the Jedi go deep behind the scenes with writer-director Rian Johnson on an intimate personal journey through the production of the film. So this is going to be really interesting. Trying to get some more of Rian Johnson's perspective on why he did certain things. He seems to have, in the last 6 months or so, since the film came out, whatever it's been, 3 months, he's explained a lot of what he's done to try to rationalize, or maybe not rationalize, but clarify is probably the best word, the reasons he took certain decisions and went in certain directions with characters. So this may provide a little bit more of that, which is going to be cool. I want to hear more from Rian Johnson, because we got this new trilogy coming up. They're working on it. I want to get into this guy's head a little more to try to anticipate what we're going to see in the future of Star Wars.
Yeah. I still need some more convincing, so I'm always down to hear what he has to say to to smooth everything over with The Last Jedi. So it's always great, any film, to hear where the director's mindset was and what their vision was, to bring these films to life. So that's probably one of my favorite things on any Blu-ray extra is to listen to what the director had to do. So.
Yeah.
Is there any commentary that you've watched recently that you remember that stood out for you being really cool?
I always go back to the prequels, listening to the commentary of George Lucas, and I can't remember who else is on there. But I still say to this day, the prequels, whether you like them or not, you cannot knock the extras you get. The extra content on there is awesome. Whether it's the choreography, I think there's some John Williams stuff, cool. Set designs, all that stuff. And then the commentary is fantastic. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, that's some pretty cool commentary too. Cool. As well. Yeah.
I'll have to check those out.
Yeah. And then we also got scene breakdowns. So lighting the spark, creating the space battle. So get an up-close look at the epic space battles. We've got Snoke and Mirrors, motion capture, and stars collide as the filmmakers take us through the detailed process of creating the movie's malevolent master villain, as well as Showdown on Crate. So looking at how they created that environment, very unique environment, very white, and then big red pops. So it's going to be interesting to see. We've seen some of that in the behind-the-scenes reel that we got at Celebration or wherever it was, but I'm looking forward to a little bit more of that. And then the next one here, this is the one that one of the ones I really want to see. It's Andy Serkis Live, one night only. Writer-director Rian Johnson presents 2 exclusive sequences from the movie featuring Andy Serkis's riveting, raw on-set performance before his digital makeover into Snoke.
Cool.
This is going to be really cool to see. I'm a huge fan of Andy Serkis and the work he's done, both motion capture, the stuff he did in Black Panther. So this guy is a legend. He's a master. But to see him just performing this way, it's something you don't always get. We've got some of it from the Planet of the Apes stuff, but I'm looking forward to him just doing the voice, sitting there, and really seeing if I can see Snoke through his facial expressions, how much they've mirrored what he's done outside of the voice and the general movements.
Yeah. No, that is cool. That's really cool. He's such a master of his craft. What this guy's done, and it's groundbreaking every time he gets behind this motion caption. Whether it's King Kong, this, or you mentioned it before in Lord of the Rings. I won't mention his name. Gollum. Yeah.
It's not Harry Potter.
Planet of
It's
the
not
Apes.
He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah. But he's awesome. So to see this guy go at it live, that's gonna be cool. It's probably gonna make me want Snoke back even more so. But yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to see that.
Cool. And then we've got the audio commentary, as we've kind of already mentioned, and then the deleted scenes. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I know some people like to experience these raw, unfiltered, so that they don't have that bias or preconceived notion of what exactly they are. So I'm just going to list them just to give an idea of what they are. So the first one is a different Phasma showdown. So a bit more detail into the Finn Phasma battle.
Did you see that one yet?
I've not seen it. I know that one's posted. They showed that on the Star Wars show this past week.
Yeah, it's on IGN, I think.
Yeah, I have not looked at that one. There's a BB-8 reveals Rey's goodbye. So this happens. This is an interaction between BB-8 and Finn. Well, Finn was kind of unconscious. There's a message. So, and then Rey and the Raiders of the Caretaker Village. So this one's going to be on Act 2 with Rey and Luke, and it's meant to kind of give a perception of Luke and how he doesn't really care about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, heard about that one.
Yeah, and then there's Luke mourning Han. So this is the one that I think probably should have been in the film itself. I believe Rian Johnson says it really hurt him to take this out of the film, but it's an emotional moment with Luke Skywalker and his mourning. There's a really cool scene in there, as I've seen it explained, which I won't spoil, but this looks like it's going to be probably something that we wished was in the film, that just brief emotional moment. And then there's the Supremacy infiltration. So it's a bit more on Rose and them going into the Supremacy of the big Snoke ship and kind of them getting all in disguise. And apparently there's a bit of a comedic moment associated with that.
Oh, well, I'm glad that was cut then. Less comedy in this movie.
This scene actually sounds kind of funny. Yeah. And it ties into a slightly larger piece of canon that I'm a little excited about to see.
Okay.
So we'll go from there. But overall, that's more or less it from The Last Jedi. What we're anticipating coming to us next week, because none of us bought the digital copy. I'm looking forward to the digital end of it by having the hard copy
for sure
of the Star Wars films.
When a movie gets released, it goes through several phases. You got the teaser trailer, you got the first trailer, final trailer. You see it in theaters for the first time. You see it at home for the first time. Like you take the disc, you buy it, or you download it, or whatever. Which phase of the movie are you most excited for? When, say, there's a movie anticipated coming out, we'll use the new Star Wars Episode 9 that hasn't come out yet. Which phase are you most excited for? The first time you see the trailer, the first time you see it in theaters, or the first time you see it at home?
Oh, theater, always.
Yeah?
Theater going experience, for me.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because there's part of me that enjoys the build-up to a film almost as much as I like watching the film itself. Sitting here every week discussing Infinity War, these trailers that we're going to get into, or this trailer we're going to get into, buying the action figures, the anticipation of everything going in, speculating, trying to figure out what's going on, seeing these little hints of characters that are going to be in the film and how it could tie to the greater continuity. There's part of me that enjoys that innocence as it relates to the experience, because we haven't seen anything and seen how it plays out. I think to me that is probably on par with me actually watching the film. You think about the Last Jedi, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So our anticipation level going into that was enormous, or The Force Awakens, or anything like that. It's always the buildup. We spend a year plus thinking about all this, putting time, effort, and collecting everything. So I enjoy that, I think, almost as much, because the movie in itself, I always love going to the movies, watching these films, watching the creations, but that's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
We get 365 plus days sometimes waiting for some of this stuff to come out, and to me that experience is almost it's a really close.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which would I tip, but right now I'm leaning more towards the anticipation, the build up to.
Nice.
Cool.
What's yours?
I'm, of course, the whole movie guy. So I'm going to say the whole movie, because on home movie is when movies really take on a life of their own, because that's when they have the most shelf life, obviously, because the movie's out and then you can watch it again and again and again. And the thing that's really cool with home movies is several times because you have the chance to watch it again and again, you pick up on subtle cues that you missed in the theater, or you miss that you haven't seen before or hadn't thought of before. And a lot of times movies that get kind of crapped on in the theater, a movie like The Shining, got nominated for like Razzie Awards for Worst Director. But now, if you ask any horror fan, it's always in everyone's top 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole movie experience is where we'll most likely remember the movie as opposed to just the theater. But I do like all three. So, I mean, it's cool. It's cool that we all came up with different answers.
Yeah. A wide spectrum here.
Yeah.
A whole spectrum. Interesting
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. So continue here with Star Wars, Forces of Destiny. Now, I know this isn't exactly meant for us. It's animated shorts that are posted on YouTube, later air on Disney, and usually focus in more around the heroines. I'm saying it's not for us because it's more directed at younger children. But they do matter for canon. They're considered canon or soft canon, however you want to point at this. Basically, they're there until the films decide that they want to break whatever they discuss in here. But they have a tendency to fall in between some of the major films. And there's just some cool ones that they dropped here. So season 2, part 1 just dropped this past week on March 19th. So actually today as we record. And the rest will be shown on Disney Channel on March 25th. The nice thing about these is that we've got some scene descriptions. I'm not going to go into detail or spoil any of these things, but we're just going to talk about some of the characters. So again, maybe I will say spoilers if you're waiting for these and wanting, because we're going to talk about key characters that are in them just briefly here. So they're usually centered around one or two characters. The first episode here is centered around Hera and Sabine, which is pretty cool. The next is Ahsoka and Anakin, going back to Clone Wars days. We've got a Canto Bite sequence, which I know you're going to love, Troy and Sunjay. So this is really focusing around in Finn and Rose. There's a young Jin episode, which will be really cool, something that we haven't really seen. There is the book that focuses in around some of that, her more teenage years with Saw Gerrera. There's a pre-The Force Awakens Rey. There's a Luke on Dagobah with Yoda. So there's a sequence there, part of the training sequence. There's a Rey and the Porgs, and probably the most significant one here. Actually, I will shout out, the Dagobah one with Luke. It's Hamill returning to voice Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. So that's pretty cool. But the big one I'm going to point out here is they go into some detail on Maz Kanata from The Force Awakens, her involvement in the pre-Return of the Jedi raid on Jabba's palace to help Han Solo. So without going into any more detail than that, they're taking Maz, they're putting her as a fixture within the original trilogy and having interaction with Chewie, Lando, Leia, Luke. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is what I've been wanting so much. This is what I think Dave Filoni, I know this isn't Dave, I don't think Dave Filoni does Force.
No.
He doesn't do this, but this is what he's been doing so well in the Rebels series, is tying things together. And this to me seems like something Dave Filoni would do, is by throwing Maz in there, this connects that tissue. This connects the OT trilogy with the sequel trilogy. And it's so cool that we're getting her back there to do that. Like, it makes sense that you get to see her have some involvement with bringing together their blueprint, their plan in doing the whole Jabba's palace kind of raid. Is it Lupita Nyong'o that's voicing Maz? Because she does the intro.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but they did have fairly good consistency in season 1 with getting the actual voice actors or the actors that portrayed them in live action to come back and do that. Actually, Eckstein came back and did Ahsoka. We've got Hamill returning here as Luke. So I'm going to say yes. I'm not 100% on that,
I think so,
but I don't see why she wouldn't.
Yeah. And the Luke one, that's big news. I mean, first of all, it's Luke Skywalker. It's Mark Hamill. Second of all, this guy is incredible at voice acting. That's his bread and butter. To have him paired up with Yoda, going back to Dagobah, this is really cool, man. I mean, that's... you think of classic 80s training montages. It's Rocky, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, and it's Mark Hamill training in Dagobah, right? Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
It's great stuff. 2-3 minutes, not much time there. They're nice to show the younger Star Wars generation to how to get them into it. So maybe give the daughter a little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, and you know what you're all about? Moving on here with the news.
I have a few things I'm about.
Yeah.
But,
Steelbooks, no. But DC, this is your real bread and butter here, Sunjay. We kind of didn't have much DC news last week, but this week we got some really exciting news coming from the DC Extended Universe. New Gods, a film that I have no idea what's going to be about. I'm going to rely on you guys to discuss here what and kind of enlighten me here what this is actually going to be about. But the exciting point about this is it's one, been confirmed, and two, Ava DuVernay, the director of Selma and A Wrinkle in Time, has confirmed that she will indeed be directing this adaptation of what I believe is Jack Kirby characters, correct?
Yeah, written and drawn by Jack Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was like he had wanted to do this with Marvel for like the longest time, and I think it was Stan Lee and Marvel was like, no, like don't do this. And then he left Marvel, among some other things, went to DC, and it's from there that he created these characters called the New Gods. So the New Gods is super cool. Troy, you probably know more about this than I do because I don't really read the books. I just kind of know what I've known throughout the years reading, thinking about them. But so there's two planets, Apocalypse and New Genesis, and they're constantly at war with each other. So Apocalypse is like this hell world. New Genesis is kind of like Greek mythology. Like it's got gardens, it's got like waterfalls. It's really like a heaven, if you will. And so they're constantly in battle, and so they come up with this plan for peace. And what the plan is both kings are rulers of the planet. They're going to exchange their firstborn sons to the other party, so that way they would hope to bring peace to both worlds. And so Mr. Miracle was born in a New Genesis, and then he gets sent to Apocalypse. And I can't remember...
And Orion gets switched from Darkseid.
That's right.
So Apocalypse to... New Genesis.
That's right. Yeah. So it's super cool, like a really interesting concept, but very like out there in terms of like the artwork is super cool because I mean he's the king, Jack King Kirby.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool is the director. Even though Wrinkle in Time didn't get the best reviews, a lot of people said it's visually stunning, and that's kind of what you need is a visionary director like her in order to bring these characters to life.
Yeah. Well put. Yeah. No, I don't know like a ton load like you do there, but I'm more in reference of Orion's origin, just going off of the New 52 run when he teams up with Wonder Woman.
That's
in
right.
in that early run, which is so cool. But this really is like DC's kind of Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
Like this came out before Star Wars, and Kirby left Marvel to do this project, and he's like, I'm gonna leave Thor basically and give you guys New Gods, and he went to work on it. It's a pretty cool run going on there, but I think it's like, I don't know if this is a coincidence. Like we're coming off of your movie Thor Ragnarok, which is huge, which is very Kirby influenced.
I made that.
Right. So is this DC's answer to be like, whoa, maybe the time is now. Like, let's do this. Like it worked in Thor. Can we kind of do something similar? And then you have someone like Ava DuVernay with her visuals from A Wrinkle in Time. You piece those things together. The writer though, I'm not really familiar with. That's the other thing. I don't really know
I
much
can't recall
about the
who's
writer.
writing it.
Yeah, I tried looking them up, but I couldn't really find much.
Oh,
so
okay, that's always comforting.
I think, yeah. So that's what kind of worries me here.
Yeah,
and it's DC. You know, they kind of been hit or miss with these announcements, right? So, but all around, man, I've been asking for New Gods for a while since they mentioned Darkseid, I believe.
That's
in
right.
BVS. Is that when we got
Well,
the
You get the Omega sign.
The
Omega sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been like, we need a New Gods film, and I just want to see Orion done right. I think that'd be so cool, very Kirby-esque, and get Big Barda in there, Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
In there, it could be a good time, and this could be so different from what we've had already in the DCU. We could just go away from all that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about connecting anything. Heck, you could see Steppenwolf. You might not. Who cares?
Yeah.
Really, there's so much more you can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the really cool thing is, as you said, Darkseid. You know, Thanos is coming out in Infinity War. Thanos is actually based off Darkseid, so I'm not saying who's better.
Well, even Vader in some ways.
Yeah,
Even Darth
absolutely.
Vader.
Yeah. I mean, Darkseid is kind of like the biggest bad I think the DC has. Him or Anti-Monitor, I would say.
Or Brainiac even.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Yeah. But yeah, it's super exciting times.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in this because I'm a huge fan of abstract cosmic and all that. But the question I have to ask for you guys here is one, if we're going to connect this into the DC Extended Universe, we've got that reference to Darkseid with the Omega symbol. We've got Steppenwolf.
Parademons.
Yeah, Parademons. And we even go back to what was done in Wonder Woman with, I'm presuming those are the old gods.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, those are just like your Greek gods, I guess Zeus.
Yeah, I think they even had like other gods, because wasn't there like an Aztec god in there? It looked like...
I just watched it the other day. I didn't see that. Maybe there is.
So that's Justice League,
Yeah,
Justice League, yeah.
But I think they really need to take an opportunity to tie all of this together so that they're, again, going back to the Winter Soldier effect, can they use this to make some of that stuff a bit more relevant to the entirety of the DC extended universe. My only fear with this, and not to be the Debbie Downer on this, because I'm excited about this. The director looks awesome, and the concept looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But is it a concept for comic book lovers? Is it too abstract and too much for a common moviegoer at this point in this universe? And I get, we've gone to all sorts of crazy places with all sorts of films. Like, you take anything that's supposed
Guardians.
to be...
Guardians.
But Guardians was set up in a universe that was established.
Right. But you could watch it without even doing anything.
You could.
Yeah.
You very well could, yes. But what are your thoughts on that? Is it like... This is just me trying to get my head around some of the more abstract concepts that we're probably going to see in here. If you've got Ava DuVernay trying to bring home with the visualization, you've got already something that's established that... I'm not saying Jack Kirby was on acid when he wrote some of this, but it's probably pretty close to some of it. But it's no different than you go back and you look at Infinity Gauntlet and all those stories, right? The Jim Starlin stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he was on it, but
Doctor Strange.
He was in proximity.
Yeah, Doctor
right?
Strange is a good one because, like, if you would have told me 25 years ago that we would have a Doctor Strange Ant-Man movie that pulled in over 200 million, I would have thought you're crazy. I think times have changed. Any comic book character is fair game nowadays. We're talking about anyone from Dazzler to, I don't even know, anyone.
What's the name? Legion. I mean, I know it's a small screen, but that thing blew up even. And that's Legion. Like, Legion has more respect right now than the rest of the other X-Men characters on the big screen.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. I think for this film, though, I think they have to honestly market it away from all the DCs because it just hasn't been working. Like, Batman was very marketable throughout the Justice League and it didn't work. Like, and that's Batman. I think in this case, you just got to like market this film as its own thing. It can connect, for sure, make it connect, but just make it stand out on its own. Very much kind of like Guardians, even though Guardians did come from a better studio or a more productive studio.
I'll kill you. No, I'm just kidding.
Martha. But
okay, we're good. Our mothers have the same name.
We can take that lightly now.
But I feel like this movie just needs to stand on its own and take the right kind of risks. I really feel like that Thor kind of angle just works. Because even Thor was coming off of a bad reputation, even though, again, it was in Marvel, so it has that kind of golden boy status. But the two other films prior were well, my opinion, I didn't really like part 1 that much, and part 2 wasn't that great. But I know a lot of people like Thor 1. So
yeah. I think what they need to do, and this is something that's a quote. I can't remember where it came from, somewhere on the internet. I don't know if it was AMC guys or what. But if you can deliver a film that people want and that's good, people will go and see it. Yeah. And that's really all you need, right? You look at the characters that have been produced in the last 5 years for Marvel. You wouldn't have, we're going to talk about it in a minute here, but you would never have predicted that Black Panther is going to be on the cusp of becoming the biggest comic book film of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And may hold that status until later on this year. But at the same time, it's a solo individual character that didn't have that same recognition or that name recognition that an Iron Man or Captain America in present day does.
Yeah.
It's not a Spider-Man, it's not an X-Men.
Exactly.
So it can be done. It just has to be done well. And you take a visionary director like Ava DuVernay, you can get there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see this stuff. I'm excited to see what the next step is for DC because they seem to be moving into this frame of mind where let's give a creator a film. Yeah. Let's give a writer or someone that has the ability to craft a universe, something different, something visually spectacular. And I think that can work with something like The New Gods. So very exciting stuff.
The only other one thing I have to say, though, about this is I'm worried about the budget. Because to bring this to life is going to be huge. And we saw what kind of budget happened with Justice League, and it didn't work out so well. So that's going to be tricky because you can't really cut corners with the production of a movie like this.
Yeah, this has to be done right.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Speaking of DC movies, we got Shazam. Yeah. We got the official movie card and the teaser poster came out. So WonderCon is this weekend. There's a live Q&A coming out tomorrow. So this will happen before the podcast drops. With the cast and director, teaser trailer maybe, or suit reveal, official suit reveal just on the horizon. And potential Aquaman trailer this weekend or attached to Ready Player One. So keep your eye out for that.
Is Ready Player One WB?
Yeah.
I'm feeling that if the way you've set that all up, we should get a Aquaman teaser that will attach to that. Like that's a good way to get. I don't know how well Ready Player One's going to do, but
I've heard That has dropped a lot. Initially, the first numbers coming out were 180 million, but that's since dropped to 120 million.
I can't remember. Do you know, was that on my list or was it your guys'
Mine.
list? It was on yours.
Yeah, I'm going to post it on Twitter. I just did a bar graph of everything.
Oh, really?
Troy, you're running away with it.
I think we should cut his last movie to make it fair. He only gets 4.
I think I should get Infinity War. I looked at my list. It's pathetic. I'm done. I'm already done.
Okay, what if our 5 movies combined don't beat Black Panther? We should have to do something.
It will beat Black Panther. 10 movies. If
each.
If Solo plus Jurassic World doesn't beat the total gross of, we might not. I don't know. We'll see. Well, that's exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to an Aquaman trailer and even seeing some more Shazam stuff. When's that come out? 2019?
2019.
That's pretty early though, right? You think if we get a trailer, you say this week?
No, trailer for Aquaman.
Trailer for Aquaman, and probably just a suit reveal.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying we might get a trailer for Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman comes out December.
Right, so that's pretty early though, because people are going to forget about that. If you put a trailer for Aquaman for a Christmas time movie.
So it's end of March by the time it comes out. So you still got 9 months?
Yeah, long time. But you have to think too, do you put an Aquaman trailer out now, have people talk about it for 2 weeks, and then you've got this crazy run of films like Infinity War,
people
Solo.
Forget, yeah.
But it's not about, it's like the Venom thing, right? It's get the name out there prior to any other big film taking up that space.
Yeah.
Black Panther's starting to relatively wind down compared to itself.
Yeah.
You got a couple weeks out here to Infinity War. I agree you might get lost in the mix, but if you can create a bit of hype around 2 new films being Shazam and Aquaman, it's probably one of the better times to do it.
When does Shazam come out?
April 2019.
Oh,
so it's still a year away.
Because at least for Venom, what has it going, even though it's a separate studio, it is Sony. Most people still think it's Marvel anyways, especially when you have the tag coming out with the Marvel. So people still think, it's part of that universe. Black Panther, Infinity War, cool. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see. It better be one hell of a teaser.
Yeah, right? It should just be Aquaman just standing there.
My man.
Hair blowing.
Yeah, I'd watch that. You brought up an interesting point about Venom. Are we all done with DC?
Yeah, we can move into Marvel.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Venom.
Cool.
So, recent rumor that I heard, I don't know how much truth there is, but the movie, because it has a low budget, Venom will not actually turn into Venom until the very end of the movie. Well, he'll finally wear the suit.
It's like the Power Rangers kind of effect.
Yeah, so what are you guys' thoughts on that?
That's funny. I read an article on comicbookmovie.com today that said that there's going to be a lot of Venom in the film.
Oh, really? Because that's where I pulled it. Was that?
Oh, maybe I misread it. Maybe it said there isn't going to be a lot of
Let me just pull it up right now.
That's an interesting thing because we speculate a lot that on that first teaser trailer they didn't show anything because nothing was done with regards to the Venom suit, and you don't want to show an unfinished product because we've seen how that's turned out in the past.
Yes, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read it wrong. But yeah, I don't know how I exactly feel about that because it's essentially going to be some sort of war movie then, I would guess, or secret. What is...
I think they said it would just be the main villain isn't an actual comic book character. It's a scientist who also has the symbiote. Carnage? No, apparently it's going to be like a scientist who also has symbiote.
Played by the guy that played Bogey, right? Bodhi in Rogue One. I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. The thing to me is, if this movie doesn't do well, we probably won't get a sequel.
See, that's kind of trash then, because for me, we talked about it before with identities. You have your Tony Starks, then you have your Iron Man. You have your Peter Parker, you have your Spider-Man, and they're both interesting. I'm sorry to say though, Eddie Brock isn't that interesting without the Venom. I don't want a movie of 70%, 80% Eddie Brock, and then I'm getting a little bit of Venom. Venom is by far more intriguing than Eddie Brock, right?
Especially if they can nail the suit.
Exactly. You see, it's different when you do Agent Venom because they established Flash Thompson already, what he's been through, being a war vet. He's lost his limbs. There's so many different layers to that character. So when he's not in the suit, it's okay. You're interested. But with Eddie Brock, especially if he's not tied with Peter Parker, then you're kind of in a danger zone.
It's just going to fade into a Tom Hardy action thriller type thing, right? That has a weird comic book twist at the end.
Right, a little bit of a chronicle-ish.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you can't have it Venom in your title card be the Venom head.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then not have Venom in the film. So that's the difficult... I don't know how else you approach that, but is it just purely because the story doesn't serve it? They want a sequel, or the budget isn't big enough to do half and half?
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting because you look at a movie like Deadpool, the budget wasn't huge, but they nailed that suit.
Yeah, but the only CG they had in there, most of that is practical,
Colossus.
is the eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They had the eyes in, they may clean it up a bit, and then there's Colossus, which has only got
yeah.
like 10 minutes of screen
Yeah,
time.
and they may even make fun of the fact that they don't have a budget because you don't
Yeah.
see the X-Men characters.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Have a whole
hilarious.
bunch of
Yeah.
ammo to shoot things up, right?
Yeah.
You've got one.
Yeah.
I forgot my guns in the cab.
Yeah.
It's very good. I heard that isn't getting the greatest, but then I heard something opposite where it is getting really good.
Yeah.
Deadpool?
Early testing reviews. They're in the middle. They're reshooting right now.
Yeah,
Really?
so I've just heard some stuff floating through the interwebs that, originally it didn't get very good reviews, but now they're saying it actually scored better than the first Deadpool from the audience score, and the reshoots was actually only 6 days. So it was just some stuff to add some minor things that
They had a cameo.
audiences
and a few
really,
things,
a cameo and stuff that audiences really love. So
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
see.
So that got pushed up, right? Like,
Yeah,
already?
it's May 18th now, so it's in between Infinity War and
Solo.
Solo, and I think that's maybe not because Infinity War is scared of Deadpool. They wanted 3 weeks to themselves,
Right.
So Deadpool moved up to get away from Solo, and then Infinity War moved to give themselves a bit more breathing room from Deadpool.
So Sunjay still wears the suit.
I
Still wears
mean,
the suit. That is the bottom line. Chewbacca, I believe on Twitter, said, "Sorry, Ben, it stands."
Yeah.
that's
I'm
all
right
right.
there
The
with him.
homemade cosplay's coming out.
Yes, it is. Actually, I was listening to the Tumbling Saber today. They did shout out that you would make a good Chewbacca. Actually, our man Chop Rules with a Z, Corey, said, I think Sunjay may make a good Chewbacca at
Nice.
some point later on in May.
Does he know how short I am?
Well, it doesn't matter, man. You gotta own it.
I gotta stand on soup cans or something. 'Cause, I'm not even I'm the shortest person in this room.
You gave yourself an extra 2 inches by standing on soup cans, 3 inches maybe.
Every inch counts, Tim.
This is true. Wait for it. Oh, no edit there. Anyways, let's talk a bit about Black Panther. We've done this for the last 5 weeks in a row because of how this film is performing. For a 5th straight week, Black Panther is #1 at the box office.
Yeah.
Now, the last film to do this was Avatar in 2009, and the last comic book film or superhero film to do this was 40 years ago with Superman #1, where I believe it stayed 8 weeks at #1. That was 78, 79, correct?
78, yeah. I don't remember when it was released, so...
Yeah, so I believe it was Superman was the last one to do more than, or 5 weeks or more at
That's
#1
crazy.
at the box office. So no film in recent history within the development of comic book movies as being basically the biggest films in Hollywood have any of them done 5 weeks in a row at #1. So the power of being outside of the typical movie season is again shown here. This movie just moved over $600 million domestically.
But, the thing is, there's been a lot of, hyped movies that came out against Black Panther that lost.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were going against crap competition. They had...
Wrinkle in Time.
Wrinkle in Time was, supposed to be huge.
It was, yeah. The book fan base was huge off of that.
Yeah,
Too, right?
and-
You had Oprah Winfrey, too.
Oh,
behind
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right.
And Tomb Raider.
Yes.
That was supposed to be huge.
Yeah, we predicted last week that Tomb Raider was
I was convinced.
It beat Tomb Raider.
It did beat Tomb Raider.
Yeah, this past week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as of this recording, it had $607 million domestically, which puts it less than $20 million short. So about $13 million or so short of the Avengers for all-time domestic highest grossing comic book movie. Now, it will definitely overtake that by close to the weekend, if not through your Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Now, this has the potential to creep up on Jurassic World's domestic haul of $652 million. It will likely pass that prior to its end in theaters. And Titanic is the last one that has the potential to overtake. That would put it 3rd highest grossing domestic film of all time. So Titanic has $659 million in whatever, $1999. So that's
crazy.
that's not relative to inflation as to what it
Yeah.
would be, but you're looking just at pure finite relative dollars. Black Panther has a chance of being the 3rd highest grossing, only behind The Force Awakens and Avatar. Now that's domestically.
Wow. Hats off.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
James Cameron has to share, man. We gotta get that guy off at least one of the lists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He has to do a comic book movie now.
Yeah. So
Well, he's doing that Angel Battle Angel or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, and
Lita Angel
and like Avatar 2 and stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
But anyways, Black Panther. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, this is a movie that I never thought would. I don't think anyone in their wildest dream. I don't even think Ryan Coogler, when he made this movie, he's like, yeah, this will be the third highest grossing of all time.
Nope.
No one did. But hats off to them. That's great. You know, records are meant to be broken, and if this is going to be the highest grossing comic book movie, I'm glad that it is. And let's see if it stays this way for a long time, or if Infinity War will beat it. I mean, we all said, Sunjay, you're crazy, but now it doesn't seem so crazy that Uncle Sunjay was saying.
It doesn't. Again, we've already publicly expressed our apologies for when we did a review saying it would never touch Avengers. It's going to pass it. It's going to pass it. So hats off to you. And that's a great segue into our Avengers Infinity War discussion for this week. We discussed last week about some of, I believe it was the posters and that we're talking about, and some of the soul or the Infinity Stones. That may have been 2 weeks ago. I can't quite remember. But anyways, we made a prediction with the tickets dropping on the Friday that we potentially get a new poster and probably a new teaser trailer. That all seemed to come to fruition on Friday. Let's talk about the tickets first before we get into the poster and the trailer itself. We've all got our tickets here. And I took the approach the same way I did with Black Panther. I didn't rush out to get the tickets like I normally do with the Star Wars film. I said, yeah, I'll get them whenever. And to my shock, there was not a lot of seats left.
Yeah.
You know, we're about 3 or 4 rows closer to the screen than we usually get when we pre-buy. And when I look at this relative to Black Panther, I got to the day before the film came out and I still got great seats on the pre-booked seats. This thing, the IMAX was sold out at Chinook. The big showing at West Hills
okay,
was almost sold out. That's the one we got, but by the time we got it, and as of this recording, it's sold out. So this thing across in that April 26th time slot seems to be sold out in Calgary. You had the same experience, right, with your IMAX?
Yeah, the Landmark Cinemas in the Country Hills in the Northwest, super sold out. Like, the only thing there is just like the front row and kind of the peripherals. I actually got tickets, I think, on the Friday, so I didn't even wait that long, just a couple hours.
Well, the same way, Friday evening.
Yeah, and I ended up with the very top row for beside. So normally I like to be more in the middle, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. So.
This is very true.
But,
and now, that was something that, at least our experience with getting tickets and seeing things sold out, was something that a lot of the theater chains in the States were seeing. Fandango reported really high pre-sales. AMC actually put out a statement about the relative ticket sales to some of the biggest MCU films. So, Avengers Infinity War, we're looking at advanced ticket sales in the first 72 hours. Now, this, again, is coming from AMC. It is 257% ahead of Black Panther in advanced ticket sales.
Wow.
715% in front of Captain America Civil War, and 1,106% higher than Avengers Age of Ultron when it comes to pre-ticket sales in the first 72 hours.
So if you extrapolate that data, if Age of Ultron made 200 million and this is 1,000 times ahead of that, so this will make 2 billion opening weekend?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Close. Yeah. This thing, what this is telling me is this thing is set to likely overtake Black Panther in that 202, likely overtake Avengers as the highest grossing comic book film with 207. This thing, I think, was originally pegged at about 235, 215 to 235 opening. It's probably on the heavy end of that, I would say, given these pre-sales. It will probably, as you've mentioned in the past, Sunjay, it probably won't have the legs that Black Panther does based on what it runs up against and the fact that this thing's going to be so front-loaded. But do you think this has the potential to overtake, I think, The Force Awakens' $249 million domestic opening? If any film has a chance, it's this one.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, if any film could do it, it'd be this one.
Yeah.
Force Awakens is so hard because there literally was a 10-year gap, from 05 to 15, right?
Yeah.
So,
but this has been building for 10 years.
Well, there you go. This has been building for 10 years, so... I don't know, man. This is just crazy. Disney's going to open up their own country next week.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You're going to.
It's at Disney World. It's literally its entire world.
They're going to annex from the U.S.
Oh, man.
No, it's pretty wild. And let's talk about this poster. Now, last week we talked about that there wasn't a great poster for Avengers Infinity War yet. We were anticipating it was coming on Friday with the tickets. We had the teaser poster, which fit along lines of the same teasers that we've gotten in the past.
I love that poster. It's great.
Yeah, I love them too. But this one, I love it. Like it's very much the clip art, the heads and all that. But there's a lot of characters on here. I love Thanos up there. Robert Downey Jr. is front and center, flanked by Evans, Hemsworth, Pratt, and Chadwick Boseman. So all of your big main characters, you've got Black Widow front and center there, Spider-Man doing his thing. Every character on here except for Hawkeye and Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's very strange that they wouldn't be in there.
Ant-Man could be there. You just might not be able to see him.
True.
So
Well, maybe yeah.
Something's up with Hawkeye in this film. There's something bigger with Hawkeye that we're not seeing.
Maybe
I'm thinking like the Ronin identity. I think he plays a much bigger role in Avengers 4, and he plays some sort of futuristic Ronin type character. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. But I love this poster. I'm definitely going to be getting this. This is going up in the nerd room for sure.
You think this will be the IMAX poster too?
No. This will be the
like
main
the
movie.
main-
The IMAX will be something else.
They always do something different, but
Yeah.
don't worry, I got you guys covered.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Free poster.
Nice. Yeah,
Whoa,
no,
I didn't say
it's
free. I just said I got you guys covered.
It's a cool poster, like you mentioned. It's a shame we're missing Hawkeye because he's been there.
Yeah, it's in the beginning.
Since
Right?
Thor
Yeah.
1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's gorgeous, and it goes along with this beautiful trailer that debuted. We're gonna put it on here in the background, like we normally do, and just step through it in a bit of detail. So I will say spoilers for Avengers Infinity War for the second trailer. So if you're not watching the trailers, I will say you can skip ahead to the end of the show or whatever, come back eventually, but we're going to attempt to speculate on some of the stuff we've seen and connect the pieces into some of the promo art that we've got, as well as the first trailer.
Yeah, so to avoid you seeing a spoiler, I'm going to yell spoilers every 5 seconds. So if you don't hear me yell spoilers, you're good to come back.
Yeah.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
Yeah. there you go.
Spoilers!
The whole time.
Spoilers!
Now, what do you guys think of this opening shot and
Spoilers!
the camera work?
Sorry, that's the last one.
The camera work on the opening shot here. I really like it.
It's cool. It's very reminiscent of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Going back to that Inception kind of feel. I feel like this trailer sprinkles a little bit of every movie that we've seen. Like Spider-Man, you get more of like that standalone kind of smaller scale film, and then you get the Doctor Strange stuff. You get the cosmic stuff for the Guardians. You get a little bit of everyone's flavor, which is awesome.
Yeah. The big standout at the start here is the score to me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
Starts
stars,
off, it's the Avengers score, but they've tweaked it, right?
Yeah.
They've got that soft piano in there, and it picks up right at the end with the Spider-Man stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
holy man, like this is a big point that we're quite critical on in the MCU retrospective series is the scores in these films don't play the role they should. This one seems to have fixed that. And I think we saw a bit of that. And we commented a lot about that on Winter Soldier in the retrospective episode. And going forward, I think you get a lot more prevalent scores. Black Panther was the same way. This one seems to be really hitting and tying elements the same way Star Wars does. Tying elements from previous films into the bigger score to make you think and feel a certain way. This is really accomplishing that for me.
I love that.
Yeah, and then we got this beautiful voiceover at the start with Gamora. And we've got kind of phasing into Thanos and his overall plan, which I absolutely love. So her quote here is, "The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal, to wipe out half the universe with a snap of his fingers."
So cool.
It's right out of Infinity Gauntlet. This is what he does in the comic books after he assembles the Infinity Stones. Death asks him for this big gesture. He eliminates half the universe with the snap of his fingers. I know they're not adapting Infinity Gauntlet directly, and they don't need to, but just having his motivations tied into that comic book, into that arc, I love it, man. It's so good.
Well, and that's what Russos are known for, right? Giving you a little bit of that comic book flavor, but throwing it into the film itself, right?
Yeah.
They did it with Civil War and Winter Soldier, and they continue to do it here.
Yeah.
So is Death in the film or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He seems to be not motivated by that. There's some discussion, I believe, by the Russos or Josh Brolin that there is an element that makes you try to feel sympathetic for Thanos. So he seems to be going into, and as we see here in the trailer, some sort of flashbacks to give you some relevant information as to why the character is motivated that way. So hopefully we get a little bit more in depth. We don't just want him coming to do that. In Infinity Gauntlet, yeah, he's motivated by death, but we want a bit more substance to this character. And having this character of death just tell him to do things, won't do it for this universe. You need something that you can sink your teeth into. And they seem to be giving that to you, because I wasn't expecting flashbacks for Thanos, but it looks like based off this trailer, we're going to get them. We see this scene with him all armored up, which is a big question mark. Are we going to see that? We've seen it in Guardians of the Galaxy. We saw a bit of it in the end of Avengers. We saw it in Age of Ultron as well. I like seeing him here all armored up, but it's that scene with Gamora that grabs his finger, right? Yeah. It seems that he's gone in, invaded her home planet, taken her for his own. It's the children of Thanos, all stolen children. So it fits with the overall theme of Thanos in the comic books as well. So I'm really digging what they're doing here with flashbacks. And you get your boy Spidey swinging through New York here off that bus. How about this Iron Man?
That's cool.
This cool thing that he gets on his feet to blast him up to this big sphere.
An extra boost, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Really cool. Now, we talked about this orb looking, or this round looking thing. It looks like some sort of transportation or portal of some sort that may take Iron Man and Spidey and Doctor Strange into that weird extraterrestrial looking planet that we see them on a little later on in the trailer. And this is the key piece of this trailer. So again, big spoilers for here. So Tony Stark specifically says, we have one advantage, he is coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we'll use. And as he's saying that, you see an image of Doctor Strange opening up the Eye of Agamotto, showing the Time Stone, and then there's a pan to Vision as well. So it seems like the general plan for the Avengers is to take the Infinity Stones to particular places and mount some sort of battle against Thanos and his impending army. So the Wakanda scene, again, another beautiful scene, but looks like they've taken Vision to Wakanda as one of humanity's last stands against Thanos, protecting the Infinity Stone by bringing the fight to Wakanda. This very capable fighting force that we saw just a couple weeks ago in Black Panther. Yeah. So really, really cool.
Yeah, very smart in their part too, right? Waiting for the key moments of the rise of Black Panther doing so successful, and then you can kind of plant more of those scenes in here and throw it in. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and we seem to in this trailer, again, we saw this in the first trailer, but this one really exemplifies it a bit more about the splitting into what looks like 3 separate teams. Yeah. We've got this Wakandan team, which composed of Cap, Black Widow, Falcon, Banner, Vision, Rhodey, and Scarlet Witch, along with Black Panther and Wakanda, Shuri, and all that. There seems to be another team that is a bit more cosmic or spacefaring that has Iron Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and a couple of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Right. So that's pretty cool. We see that later on the episode, and then in the trailer. And then there's Thor, Rocket, and Groot that seem to be off on a separate quest to make Thor's new weapon.
Yeah. That to me seems like the only part that might be a little. I mean, it's just going off of a trailer that I'm like, whatever. But I want to get more back to the other 2 members of the team, the 2 crews of the team. Right?
Yeah. So that's again, I agree with you. A big question mark for me is how disjointed is the Thor story going to feel? You remember from Age of Ultron?
Oh yeah, hot tub.
Yeah, we had a really disjointed few scenes from Thor that were trying to seed some of the stuff that we're seeing here in Infinity War with regards to the Infinity Stones and doing a bit more into his own film universe that never really got picked up on. So I'm not worried about it. I'm sure it's great. Mm-hmm. And even the Russos came out and said Thanos has got the most screen time and then followed by Thor.
Wow.
Yeah,
I never would have guessed that.
They said he's got a very interesting arc. So pairing him with Rocket and Groot is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And having him pursue something is also very cool. But I want to make sure he's relevant to the story. And now we do see a scene in here where Thanos seems to have his head in a grip.
Oh, yeah.
And so Thor is going to have the interaction. The worry when you look at these is that you don't see him with many characters. You don't see him in Wakanda. You don't see him with Star-Lord and Iron Man here. So my worry is that he's going to be disconnected from the film a lot. Mm-hmm. I loved him in Ragnarok. I want to see him in this version of Thor interacting with Star-Lord, interacting with Tony Stark and Captain America. And just a little like, you're a bit different. Yeah. Like, what happened to your eye and your hair and all that, right? Like, we need that call out. We need that audience perspective from these MCU characters to tie it all up here. And man, this whole scene with Star-Lord and Iron Man about your plans sucking. Like, it's great to have the banter between Star-Lord and Tony. It's something that we wanted. Something we knew was going to happen. You had to have these guys, these quick-lipped guys, going at each other, and it looks like we're going to get that with Peter Parker looking on in absolute amazement. This is what I feel like myself.
Yeah.
The way that Peter's looking.
In between, right?
Yeah.
He's got the new Iron Spider suit on.
Yeah, he does. Nice view of that. It's first like full view we've gotten of that, I think.
Yeah.
Really skinny looking Iron Man.
Yeah, that waist.
This Wakandan battle, we've seen this from the previous trailer, but them all loaded up in these hovercrafts or whatever, going out to the front lines. The third or fourth time I watch this, I got this real, I don't always like comparing to this, but I got this real like D-Day type of vibe. You know, like how all the soldiers are in the boats heading for the beach? Yeah. That's the vibe I'm getting for this. It's like, this is our last stand. All these soldiers, the superheroes, everyone's going out to this. There's
going to be war, right?
I was thinking like Independence Day or something, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Tony needs to give the speech.
Well, someone's got to give a speech. Captain America.
If there's not an epic speech in this movie, I'm walking out.
It's got to be something. Man, the
armor looks great.
Armor was awesome.
On Thanos. Yeah.
So good. So good. I hope he slips it on sometime in the film here. But yeah, there's this scene with Thanos crushing. And then this one here. So we get a really nice view of Loki here. He's surrounded by the children of Thanos, the Black Order as it's called in the comic books. And at first I was like, whoa, is he standing tall with them? But if you look closely at Proxima Midnight, she's got her big scepter-looking thing right at his head. Oh, yeah. Now, this is going back to our discussion last week about Loki and the potential for him to die. I think it happens here.
Interesting.
Like this again is pointing towards the fact that Loki has a relatively short arc, and really what he's doing is delivering the Tesseract, the Space Stone, to Thanos. Because the next clip we see is Thanos crushing the Tesseract in his hand, and presumably going to put that stone into the gauntlet, because we know it's in the gauntlet from later on scenes. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Loki's
Loki.
Done.
Yeah, he's done. I think this reconfirms what we discussed last week. So
and everyone's armoring up. We get Cap with the shield, Bucky going on, and
but
then we
that's
get
interesting.
The claws on Panther.
Yeah, because like I just saw, what you call it?
Bucky?
No, Iron Man with the Hulkbuster suit.
Yeah,
but he's in Wakanda. But then he was like in the space.
So I've been spoiled on that one. We won't go into that.
Oh, okay.
Is he just controlling both armors? I mean, we've seen.
Oh, because he's done that in the comics, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I won't.
You don't say anything.
I'm not going to.
I hope it's like Rocket or someone, or like Baby Groot in there,
or Pepper.
Yeah. Pepper.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now I remember this scene description from the San Diego Comic-Con release, where you have Doctor Strange throwing out the little cylinders or whatever, and Star-Lord's jumping around on them, firing up in this space battle.
Right.
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff.
That's cool. I love Star-Lord with that helmet on.
Yeah,
That's
it
always
looks
great.
way better. We had a nice shot of Ebony Maw, really creepy looking, one of the children of Thanos, seemingly doing something to Doctor Strange, looking for that time stone.
That'll be a good matchup.
Yeah, it will be. Then we have here, so we have two crucial scenes at the end of the trailer. We've got Thanos versus Iron Man, and he says the direct quote, "I hope they remember you." And Iron Man, his suit's all beat up. He's, looking pretty dire here. And then we get the next scene following this incredible scene is Captain America versus Thanos. Now, Thanos seems to throw a punch or some form of slap at Captain America, and Cap catches it. Before we get into that in a bit more detail, I just want to call out, this is almost directly out of Infinity Gauntlet. Mm-hmm. There's a scene in Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I've got the book right here, and I just want to read the one quote. So Captain America directly confronts Thanos. He has no business doing this, probably like he does in this film. But he says, "As long as one man stands against you, Thanos, you'll never be able to claim victory." Thanos rebuttals, "Noble sentiments from one who is about to die." I have a very strong feeling that some form of that dialogue is going to be spoken at this very point in the film. It's a beautiful scene. It's paralleling very nice to Infinity Gauntlet. What are you guys' thoughts on Cap catching this gauntlet?
Yeah, so for me, like, everything on this trailer is awesome. Obviously, like, this is an amazing trailer. But this part here kind of sticks out for me because if you look at the power levels of Thanos, he is kind of like a Superman. His power levels are probably even higher than Superman's, I would say, especially if he has the Infinity Gauntlet and some Infinity Stones. And Captain America is just a human. Yeah, he's super powered.
One-man army, man.
But come on. He's powered, but he can't stop like a plane. He can't stop a train.
He can
by
hold a
himself.
helicopter with one arm.
Well, yeah, that's pretty true. That bicep was pretty sick.
Right, and then he lifted up Thor's hammer a little bit. And if you look at the gauntlet, it's not fully powered. You almost see he has two.
But still, like, Thanos should be able to just, like, swat at, like, a human. I know he's powered up, and okay, so he moved the hammer, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's strong, because Vision carries the hammer around. It just means that he's worthy.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean...
That's true.
I mean, Hulk is stronger than Cap, and Hulk couldn't move it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, it's just, to me, like, Hulk... I think Hulk is not as strong as Thanos. Maybe in the comics, I'm... missing something because I haven't read a ton of Thanos.
There's a Thanos vs. Hulk series not too long ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, I like this scene because to me it's more about the statement than the physicality of it. It's Cap versus Thanos. Now Cap could get swatted away the same way he does in Infinity Gauntlet right at the end of this scene.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen that way. There may be some connective tissue to that scene we see with Bucky kind of running and screaming in the original trailer with the gun all drawn. So I really don't know what's happening here, but it's more about how they end this. Iron Man versus Thanos, Captain America versus Thanos. Your two big characters in the universe. One of them's dying.
Yeah.
Maybe both. Don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, one of them. I think one. One for sure.
Yeah.
No, I hope they both live.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They got to be stakes here.
Yeah, if you put your money on one of them.
If I put my money on one of them,
Yeah.
I would say Chris Evans dying.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone else take over, like you said, like either Falcon or Winter
Bucky,
Soldier.
yeah.
There seems to be more rationale for Cap
To die?
fighting it in this.
He's
think.
100 years old.
Yeah, I think it's just the emotional impact of Captain America dying on the audience itself will be, I think, stronger than Iron Man. Iron Man has the ability to still carry the film, to come back and have an emotional arc with the death of Captain America based on their history. And I think it's more meaningful in a film like this if Captain America dies.
Yeah. Another way, I think Iron Man. Because the whole franchise started off with Iron Man. Everybody fell in love with Tony Stark. And a lot of this is kind of created from Tony Stark. He's kind of created this whole massacre as it is. So either way, man, I don't want any of them to die.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
And I like Cap over Iron Man, but maybe that's why I'm kind of rooting more so for Iron Man to bite it. I don't know.
Maybe there's some lesser known characters that can bite it. Like Speedball, is he in this universe? Can we kill him
Not
off?
yet, at least.
Introduce so much new characters. Oh, look, we killed so many, like Quicksilver.
We're Slipknot. Kill him off.
Exactly.
That's what he's designed for.
Who's not in the promo art? There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you guys. You know, we kind of rapidly went through this thing, but at what point do you think a lot of these battles are happening? Do you think this is midway through the film and they're not showing us anything from the end? Like, is this Battle of Wakanda, the space battle that we're seeing, this Thor stuff, is this all happening in the first half of the movie?
I'm pretty sure Iron Man stuff's like right away.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he Thanos comes to the boom tube, we can say.
Yeah.
And just lays out Iron Man instantly. I'm not saying he dies from there. He probably dies later. But I think that stuff is all pretty early. Obviously, Spider-Man being in New York, seeing the portal himself, that's probably early on in the film. Same with the Doctor Strange. The Wakanda stuff, that's the stuff I'm not too sure. That could maybe take place in the middle. Or this could be the middle, and then the Thor stuff could be at the very end, because that's the stuff we've seen the less of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm wondering, the reason I asked that question and what I'm wondering about here is when you look at the Infinity Gauntlet, through all of these trailers and the promo art, or not so much the promo art, but the trailers, he's only ever got 2 Infinity Stones.
Right.
The power, which comes from the Nova Corps, and the space, which comes directly from Loki. And I'm presuming the Loki stuff happens pretty close to the start of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's wandering around these trailers with only 2 Infinity Stones. So he's got the Mind Stone from Vision. There's the Soul we don't know about. There's the Ether, which we don't really know about. It's maybe somewhere with the Collector. And then there's another one that I can't remember.
do you think it's possible they could have taken them out, much like they did with like Spidey and Ant-Man?
That's a very good
yeah.
point,
You know,
because they may have had to do that. And the Thor stuff with the eye
Thor with
patch.
the eye patch, yeah.
Take that out so you don't have this idea that, okay, they've already lost the Vision Stone. The Time Stone's the other one I didn't say.
Okay,
They already lost the Time Stone. So it's a very good point. They could be doing some of that visualization
Right.
trickery so that we're not gaining that sort of knowledge pre-film.
Right.
So you're very much right in that one. But so overall, guys, let's get to the last scene actually first before we do that. Peter versus Doctor Strange in a very comedic. So
Yes.
the comedy is going to be coming at us. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
It needs to come from the right people.
Yes.
That there is a perfect scene from that. Give it to Peter Quill, give it to Robert Downey Jr. to have those quips, and give it to guys like Peter Parker versus Doctor Strange, calling out these very different characters. I love that. Oh, we're using our made-up names.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
That's great.
I love that. And then he gets a little moment when we get to see him do his
Yes.
whole web swing and the agility being used. So all around, yeah, that's just great. I really am taking more of a tone to his costume. I wasn't a big fan of the Iron Spider costume in the comics, and I didn't really like it at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah.
But seeing this, like the shine and the glare on it, it looks pretty cool, and it makes a lot of sense in this film why he would be armored up.
The environment helps.
Yes.
Juxtaposed against a very bright New York, it may not look as good.
Right. Yeah.
But in this whatever cosmic, wherever they are, whatever planet they're on, gone through this, the Boom Tomb Heavies refer to it. I think it makes it look better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what a time to be alive.
Yes.
I mean, just think about like the 10 years we've gone through and the run of films that Marvel has put out. It's just crazy. Like 20, 30 years from now, we're going to look back at this time and we're going to reminisce about like, man, this was crazy. Like they had a Guardians movie and then they had a Thor 3 and then they all combined. Like we're going to be telling our kids about this time that we're living in right now. Like as they watch with us growing up, they're going to be like, wow, like you were there opening night. It's kind of like, you know, our parents for some movies like Star Wars,
Yeah,
right?
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. And I'm just super excited. I can't wait to see this. I'm probably going to try see this twice in the same day. I don't know. Because I want to see lots of this. If the movie is exactly like this trailer, then this might overtake Black Panther as my favorite MCU film. I don't know.
Yeah, it has a potential, and I'm happy I put it number 1 on my list as most anticipated. Like
Still behind Aquaman for me.
Yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be a special viewing event. I know we have Avengers 4 still to come the following year, but like we've said in the past, this really feels like the beginning of the end. This is going to be the movie that maybe concludes a lot of these arcs that we've had over the past 10 years. And Avengers 4 is maybe a bit more of a torch passing film or the kickoff to something else, revamping the universe and doing something different, where this is the end of that 10 years of Marvel Studios building films. So yeah, I can't wait. April 26th, 7 p.m. cannot come soon enough. This will probably be mostly it. I think we probably have one more trailer, but I'm not doing any TV spots. I'm happy with what I've gotten here. The story for me with the second trailer, you don't get that much more of it. You get a bit more details on it, but I think that's it. I know I said last week that I was going to watch a few more of these, but this trailer was dense enough. I think I got to leave some of this for the movie theater.
Nice.
So super exciting, guys. This is, like you said, Sunjay, a hell of a time to be alive between the comic books, the collecting, the DC, Star Wars, and Marvel universes. It's incredible. It's just a great time to be a nerd, great time to be podcasting about this stuff, and it's probably a great time to end this podcast. We're about an hour 40 or so in, and we just got to thank you guys very much for listening, for participating in the podcast. And if you'd like to be a part of the Nerd Room, you can always email us at thenerdrm@gmail.com. You can hit us up on YouTube or Facebook. And as always, our Twitter handles are at the end of the episode. We're always hanging out there. And you can always get us on thenerdroom.net. Just click contacts and throw us your name, question in there, and it'll come directly to us via email. Sunjay, give a quick pop to your YouTube work.
Yeah, so make sure if you like me and you think I'm great. I mean, who doesn't? And you want to hear more of me and you want to see what this beautiful voice produces or where this beautiful voice comes from, make sure you check me out on the YouTube channel, The Nerd Room Podcast. Every week I break down all my latest pickups from my movie collecting addiction, and I throw in a little bit something special at the end now. You know, maybe it's top 5 musicals or favorite DC movies. Who knows what I'll do, but check it out. The views have been going crazy. Thank you for everyone who's been watching that, and yeah, it's been fun. I got to get you two guys on it.
Yeah, someday. We'll see. Over the next couple of weeks, the Nerd Room's going to have a slightly different shape to it. I'm taking off for a couple of weeks, so the boys here are going to be holding it down. One of the episodes, depending on what is released as far as DC content over the weekend, if we do get an Aquaman trail and that, you'll see the guys come back next week to discuss that. And if not, you will see our Winter Soldier MCU retrospective episode drop in place of our normal Nerd Room episode. And then following that week, depending on how it's rearranged, the guys will also be doing an episode discussing whatever nerd news comes out that week. And I will be off in Florida with the family doing my Disney thing. Cannot wait.
Nice.
So I'll be posting lots of stuff on Twitter for what we're doing down there. So make sure to follow me there at the Nerdaram to see what's going on as far as promo material for Infinity War down in Disneyland, or Disney World, and solo a Star Wars story stuff. So I look forward to seeing what you guys produce in the next couple of weeks, and make sure to tune back in for our MCU retrospective episode on the Winter Soldier. One more pump to give is we recorded the first episode of the Nerd Room Detours. We have yet to figure out exactly when we're going to release that, how we're going to release it, but we've got about an hour of content just discussing random stuff as per the title. Detours, it kind of detours away from a normal Nerd Room, MCU, DC, Star Wars kind of content, talking about real things, different things. So we cracked a couple of beers and recorded that over the weekend. So we're looking forward to getting that out to you guys. So keep an eye on the feed for that as well. All right, gentlemen, I guess I won't be back for about 3 weeks of recording. So 2 weeks of recording, and then we'll be back on the third week. I'll be back, but you guys will be holding down the fort. Look forward to what you guys bring to the table.
Pressure's on, Troy.
Yeah, it is.
What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about something that Tim wouldn't want to talk about. Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, you'll get
DC,
there.
I guess.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do a Star Trek episode.
He might be Solo.
Oh,
no, just playing around.
Solo.
Was it Discovery? Star Trek Discovery? Is that what you're talking about?
And I was thinking like the movies, like the Abrams movies.
Oh, okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
I love those movies.
Should we do Star Trek? Will we get kicked out of the Commonwealth? No, we'd have to join the.
There are lots of Star Trek fans. Don't you worry.
The
about
Federation.
That. Yeah. There you go. Well, I look forward to seeing what you guys throw on the table. And for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room. This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrips Podcast, and San Diego Sabres. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.